Hi folks, welcome back to another one of my Facebook sessions over here where I go ahead and cover a topic and then I open the floor for some Q&As. Today I'm going to be discussing some major mistakes that I see when people are trying to gain muscle and lose fat, okay? Like I said, if you go ahead and have questions, just go ahead and post them below, and then as I see the questions come in, I'll be addressing them later. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started here. In terms of when people go ahead and get started with a fitness program for fat loss, for example, I see a lot of people that just go ahead and immediately they say, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do cardio first, and I'm going to go ahead and lose some weight before I go ahead and start with a weight training program. And honestly, you cannot be doing things any worse, because remember, cardio is just going to go ahead and increase the amount of calories that you're burning throughout the time that you're doing the activity, but it's going to do nothing for increasing your metabolism permanently. Okay, so you got to increase that metabolic rate, you got to increase your ability to burn some calories, and the only way to do that is via weight training. Because with weight training, not only are you burning calories as you do the activity, you also burn calories for an extra 24 to 48 hours because of the recovery time that it takes the body to, to go ahead and recover from the weight training session. And in addition to that, every single time that you gain a pound of muscle is 50 extra calories that you're burning per day just doing nothing. That's how much muscle actually burns. So if you gain 10 pounds of muscle, well, now you're burning 500 calories per day. So you see, that's how my clients typically, when I go ahead and start them out on a program, they start at a lower calorie base and then they end up in high calories. Like, for example, many of the ladies that I train, they start out with like between 1,200 to 1,500 calories per day, and then at the end, once they're in shape and everything, they're consuming between 2,000 to 2,200 calories. And with the guys, you know, it's typically between 2,000 to 2,500 calories, and then at the end of the journey, they may be eating, you know, between 3,000 and 3,500. So, I mean, that's a good thing. This is exactly what you want. You don't want a situation where you go ahead and do things that cripple your metabolic rate, okay? If you go ahead and you cripple your metabolic rate, then it's just going to be much easier for you to gain fat. A lot of people, what they do is that they start a diet, which is way too low in calories. They also start training too much. They go ahead and train for like 2 hours of weight training and then maybe even 30 minutes of cardio. That's way too much. I mean, after 45 minutes of training, your cortisol levels begin to go up, your testosterone levels begin to go down, and that's a bad thing. Cortisol basically is going to protect your fat tissue, and it's going to kill your muscle tissue, and that's exactly what we're not looking to do. We want to go ahead and keep that testosterone level high. Even in women do produce a little bit of testosterone, not as much as those guys, but you know, they do produce it and they need it. And you want to keep that level high because it's going to go ahead and help you with the muscle building. It's going to help you with the fat loss. Okay, that's the whole ticket. So you don't want to overemphasize the cardio, like I was saying at the beginning. You don't want to overtrain, because if you're training, like I said, too long, cortisol levels go up, testosterone levels go down. You don't want to over diet. That's another biggie that I see all the time. People go in and they start doing just way too low calories. And what the body says is like, wait a minute, if you're not going to go ahead and feed me, I'm going to lower my metabolism. I'm just going to lower my thyroid levels. I'm just going to go ahead and burn muscle for energy. And guess what? Now maybe if you, at the beginning of the diet, say you were burning 2,000 calories at rest, now you may be burning 1,500. Sometimes it goes down to 1,000. You know, in fact, I was reading some research that indicates that just 2 weeks of over dieting can go ahead and cripple your metabolic rate for months to an end. I mean, that's scary. So, yeah, forget about if you hear somebody saying, oh, you know, I'm doing a liquid diet of 500 calories or some crazy crap like that, run away. That's not what you want to be doing. Like I said, typically, what I do with my clients is that if it's, you know, it all depends on the person, of course, but on the average, what I like to do is that I set them up on a baseline diet to where I take a look at their body weight, and then based on their body weight, I'll say, you know, body weight times 1 equals carbs per day. Body weight times 1 equals protein per day in grams. Okay, all this is in grams. And then body weight times 0.3 is going to equal the grams of fat per day. Then I split that up in 5 meals or 6, depending on the result I get, and that's how many grams of carbs, protein, and fats you need to go ahead and have per meal. Okay. Typically, what I do is that typically what I do is that I go ahead and I have people do a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, real meals, and then protein shakes in between. That's what most people end up doing. Some people go ahead and have their protein shakes before and after the workout, which is fine as well, and then they have their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have Tim. Hey, Tim, how are you, buddy? We gotta talk about this. Totally lost on calorie count, etc. Tim, you're cool because since you're one of my clients, I get to see your diet, so I know exactly where you're at, buddy. But suffice it to say, Tim, if you I already took a look at what you're eating. I don't have off the top of my head how many grams of carbs, proteins, and fats you're consuming, but I know that whatever you're consuming is what you should be consuming. That's what I totally do know based on what you sent me the last time. So you're totally fine, brother. I mean, and as you gain muscle, what I'll need to do is that I'll need to actually add more calories, more nutrients to your diet. Okay, Tim? That's a curse that comes with having more muscle. More muscle equals more food. Hello, Aurelian. Bonjour. Ça va bien? Good to see you, buddy. Anyways, like I was saying, that's the whole ticket with the diet. Super duper important that you feed yourself. If you don't feed yourself, forget it. It's, again, a losing proposition. What we want to do over here is that over time, we want to build the metabolic rate. As you're gaining muscle and losing fat, you want to go ahead and burn more calories, okay? That way, your results will be permanent. You'll never experience the problem of the rebound. A rebound happens when you cripple your metabolism. If your metabolism was burning 2,000 calories and suddenly you do something to where now it burns only 1,000, obviously when you start eating, anywhere between 1,500, 1,700 calories, guess what? Your metabolism is just going to go ahead and not burn it. So as a result, you're going to be storing, right? That's the deal right there. This is why it's so important to do things right. It's so important to diet smart, to train smart. Okay, it's not all about hard. When I started, I didn't know what I was doing. So when I started, I would train for hours to a day. I would over diet, and guess what? I wouldn't get the results. I just didn't know any better. I figured if I go ahead and do things hard enough, I'm going to get results. And I got some results, but I was not getting anywhere near the amount of results I should have been getting. Okay, so that's the whole ticket there. Aurelian says, very good, thank you. Excellent, super. T'as fini avec des vacances? C'était bien? That's my buddy Aurelian from France. He just finished the vacation. He's looking great. Looking really, really good. So, big congratulations, Aurelian. You're looking awesome. So, anyways, back to the subject over here, like I was saying. That's the whole deal with the diet and the training. These are some common mistakes that I see. Other mistakes I see is the overconsumption of fruits when people are trying to lose body fat. Now, fruits are not bad. The problem, if you have too many fruits, is the following. Fruits contain fructose, okay, which is fruit sugar, all right? Fruit sugar cannot go into the muscle, okay? The muscle cells do not have the enzyme required to store fruit sugar, okay? So what happens? When you go ahead and take in the fruit sugar, two things need to happen. Either A, one of two things, I should say. One of two things should happen. Either A, you burn it on the spot because you're doing some activity, or B, you store it in the liver. Now, the liver only has the capacity, depending on the person, to store anywhere between 80 to 100 grams of sugars, okay? If you go ahead and load up your liver with sugars, once it is completely loaded, it sends a message to the brain that tells the brain that it doesn't need carbs anymore and any extra carbs to just go ahead and store them. And that's true even if you could fit the carbs in the muscle. Let's say that the muscle is depleted and it needs carbs. If your liver is full and you take in more carbs, your body's not going to go ahead and store those carbs appropriately. It's going to go ahead and store them as fat. Okay? So that's a problem. So with that said, it's important to just limit. I'm not saying totally eliminating. Just limit the fruits, to like some low sugar fruits like apples, like berries, like strawberries. I absolutely love them. Peaches, things like this. Limit those fruits to one or twice or 2 times a day. So typically good times to consume them at definitely breakfast or before the workout or after the workout. Any of these times are good times to go ahead and consume the fruits, okay? But just keep that in mind. It's very, very important that you understand the whole fruit metabolism deal, because a lot of people don't understand that, and what happens is that they go on a diet to lose fat with the best intentions, and then they're consuming a whole ton of fruit, loading up the liver all the time, and then the fat loss comes to a standstill. They don't know why. So that's the whole deal. Just limit your fruits. And if you're working out, 3 times a week for like 30 minutes with weights hard, you should be good to go, okay? You'll be burning those fruits. That's not a problem, all right? So I have nothing against the fruits. I'm just saying don't overconsume them if you're on a fat loss diet, okay? Conversely, if you're a heart gainer and you have issues with gaining muscle mass, fruits are great. Just go ahead and, have fruits, because you're constantly burning the carbs. So in that type of case, fruits are your ally. But if you're trying to lose body fat and you don't have the best of metabolisms, then just go ahead and limit it to a couple pieces a day. Okay? Let's see what we have here. Have some comments. Aurelian says, "C'est la fin, retour, lundi. Je vous embrasse tous les deux." Ah, merci Aurelian. C'est bien. J'espère que tu as bien profité des vacances. I'm just saying that I hope that he enjoyed the vacations. Let me see. Paula Islam says, "How can I lose my weight?" Well, that's exactly what I'm discussing, buddy. Basically, you need to do, at least 3 30-minute sessions of fast-paced weight training. What I like to do with the weight training, in fact, you know what? Let me go ahead and post some free routines for you here below. I'm just going to go ahead and post them. Well, if you're looking at this on YouTube later on, it's going to be in the description, and over here I'm just going to post it on the comments below, okay? Give it a second and I'll go ahead and post it. But basically I'm going to be posting over here my free 21-day program, okay, which contains like 21 days of routines. And what I do with the routines is that for like 3 weeks I go ahead and push, and I go ahead and do high reps, very low rest periods in between. And then I pull back in order to allow the body to overcompensate and grow. And I do that by increasing the rest period in between sets. And I also reduce the amount of repetitions, which allows you to increase the weight. Okay? Let me go ahead and post this here real quick. Here we go. There. I also posted the link to my books. Let me go ahead and show you my books. This is the Body Sculpting Bible for men. Here's the Body Sculpting Bible for women. Okay? Which, as you can see, they have tons of information, training, nutrition, supplementation, goal setting, the whole 9 yards. I posted the links below so you can check them out. They have tons of training routines which are fully periodized. You just follow those routines, you follow the diet, and it's going to go ahead and deliver the results that you're looking for. Okay? Also, I do a lot of online coaching as well. I work one-on-one with people online. So if you're interested, just go ahead and PM me. Shoot me a PM. Let me know that you're interested. I'll go ahead and I'll look up a good solution for you based on your budget and everything else, so that I can go ahead and help you out personally. Okay? Let's see what else we have here. Nicole says... Lindo. Kisses. Thanks, Nicole. Tony says, your opinion about doing cardio and full body weight training on alternate days. Tony, these days, because I train so quickly, I'm not doing any traditional cardio. For example, today I did some shoulders and arms, and I just completely went in giant sets non-stop because I'm doing what is called the loading phase, which means that for like 3 weeks I just go, really high with my volume and everything. In 30 minutes I killed my shoulders and arms, and I was doing between 15 to 20 repetitions per set, and pretty much I did it non-stop, brother. So I mean, I was soaked, my heart rate was up, and the whole 9 yards. So these days, Tony, I just use my weight training as my cardio as well, which in turn saves me time, because I mean, I just have so much work with all the client load that I have that I just cannot afford to separate my weight training and traditional cardio. And to be quite honest with you, I'm seeing better results by not doing the traditional cardio anyways. With that said, you're asking about doing cardio and full body weight training on alternate days, and that's totally cool. I mean, if you enjoy the traditional cardio, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. Just do it smartly, like I say in the books over here that I just showed. What you want to go ahead and do then is that you want to do like a couple of weeks of 20 minutes, a couple of weeks of 30 minutes, and then a couple of weeks of 40 minutes, and then go back to 20. So always, you always want to be kind of like, varying the time that you're doing the cardio. Furthermore, what I suggest you do is that you also vary the exercise, because otherwise the body gets used to it, and the body gets very used to cardio very, very easily, which is another one of the reasons I don't do traditional cardio anymore. Alternate days, you could do either full body weight training, or you could split your training into like chest, back, and calves one day, shoulders and arms another day, and you can do thighs, hamstrings, and abs on the third day. So you could do that too. It doesn't necessarily need to be a full body weight routine. Okay, I typically just recommend full body weight routines for beginners. Like if you've never trained before, you can go ahead and do those, which is great. And then I start my clients slowly, but then after like 6 weeks or so, I put my clients to work on like split routines, right? Doing at least like chest, back, bicep, tries one day, shoulders, legs and abs the next day, and I kind of like alternate that stuff. Or I may do, like I just said, chest, back, and calves one day, shoulders and arms another day, and thighs, hamstrings, and calves the next day. And I just posted my free 21-day program, so you can go ahead and download it and check it out. It's going to go ahead and help you, because it's going to give you my whole philosophy of periodization and stuff like that. And after you're done with that, definitely go ahead and check out my book, Body Sculpting Bible for Men, which I posted a link as well, which is going to go ahead and help you with the kind of routines that you need to be using long term and stuff like that, okay? So anyways, I hope I answered your question, Tony. Thank you for coming by. Paul Islam says, thanks a lot. My pleasure, buddy. Let's see, what else we have here. Gajanan says, bodybuilders do have very nicely developed carbs and less fat percentage. Also, they... Give me a sec. Let me see if I can see your full comment, buddy, because for whatever reason, sometimes Facebook just kills the comment, and then I just see it partially. So I also have a computer to where I check the comments. Let's go ahead and see. Hopefully I can see your full comment. And, hey, unfortunately, Facebook is delayed on my computer, so I will not be able to see your full comment up until later. I'll come back to you, Gajanan. Okay, I apologize for that. Carlos says, saludos, Hugo. Estás pompeado, brother. Carlos is basically saying, greetings, Hugo. You're all pumped up, bro. Carlos, muchas gracias, brother. Mira, ahí está. Me duelen porque las entrené hoy y las quemé totalmente. En 30 minutos, muerto. I just basically said that, my biceps hurt today because I trained them today for like 30 minutes non-stop, so like I'm freaking dead. Oh, here we go. So Gajanan says again, bodybuilders who have very nicely developed muscles, including abs and less fat percentage. And then it cuts off the comment. Yeah, that's typically true, Gajanan, and the way that happens is, via the right training and the right diet. Because if you have the right diet and training program, you're going to be able to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. That's the ticket. Paul says, No, buddy, I don't. No, I don't show off over. I don't show off over the lives. All right. George Newland says, "Hi Hugo, still training hard, keeping till the diet too. This thing. Good to see you and hear you. Yeah, George, man, great to hear from you. George is one of my clients. He's doing awesome. He's gained some good muscle and lost some body fat. He's a hard trainer. So a big shout out to you, George, who lives in the Highlands of Scotland, a real Highlander. He trains very, very hard. So good to see you, George. Carlos says, jaja, ya veo, está dándole duro. Carlos says, I see you're training hard. Yeah. See, Carlos, that's the only way to go, buddy. Just go hard or go home, right? Kamal says, hi. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't speak that language. My bad. Only speak 3. I wish I could speak all of them. If I had my way, I would speak everything. But no, I only speak 3 languages: Spanish, French, and English. And actually, I do pretty good with Portuguese. I could actually communicate, and I can actually read Italian pretty decently too. But that's about it. Let's see what else we have. Okay. So Gajanan is asking how to have this as one side fat is to be reduced and on another side the muscle is to be gained. Thanks. Okay. Carlos says, hablarle jeringosa, maybe entiende. Carlos, you're killing me, brother. George makes sure to say that he doesn't wear a kilt. LOL. All right, George. I wouldn't have held it against you, buddy. Okay, because I mean that's a tradition over there, and it's all good, buddy. It's all good. And I know I've traveled the world, so I mean everybody has different traditions, and it's, hey man, that's cool. You know, some people do wear kilts over there, and that's cool by me. That's totally fine. But you don't wear one. Not a problem, man. Not a problem. Let's see. Let's see what else we have here. Tim says, we gotta talk about calorie counting. I'm lost on that. Training soon. No problem, Tim. I mean, if you need help with that, you know what? Next week when we talk, I'll go ahead and I'll just go ahead and cover that with you. So you see, I'll use your diet, the one that you send me, and I'll teach you how to figure out your calories and stuff like that. Basically, it's really easy. I mean, once you know your grams of carbs, proteins, and fats, and then the carbs and the proteins, you just multiply that times 4. And then the fats, you multiply that times 9. You add that up, poof, and that's your caloric intake. So, you know, if you know what your carbs, proteins, and fats are, which I actually do, I know what you're taking. I just need to take a look at your diet. And then you're good to go. But I can tell you, Tim, that you're good on what you're taking. I definitely know that. Let's see what we have here. Tony says, thanks, Hugo. Started training 4 years back. Seen your videos. Awesome, Tony. Great. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that, man. I really, really appreciate that. Hopefully they've helped you a lot, and hopefully you've gained a whole bunch of muscle mass doing so. I mean, I've received some really incredible before and afters of people who are just following my free information out there, and, you know, they do it themselves, and they put the whole program together, and I mean, it looks magical. It's amazing what happens when you go ahead and put your mind to this for like a good year. You know, I mean, I've seen obese people turn into like full-blown physique competitors, which is it's amazing. It really is. Larry Dan says, buying Hugo's training program is one of the best decisions I ever made. Larry, thank you so much. Big shout out to you, my friend, because Larry's awesome, people. It's like Larry, again, you know, went from obese to fit. And keeping the gains, that's the whole deal. I mean, because a lot of people make a transformation, but to keep the gains, that's what's hard. That's what's hard, okay? That requires a full, permanent lifestyle change. And Larry, credit to you, you've kept the gains, and you're a chef. And I have a lot of people that tell me that, you know, when they're chefs, they have a they have an issue with diet compliance, but you're disciplined, and you've done the do, my friend. You've done the deed. So that's hats off to you, my friend. Keep up the great work. Tim says, thanks, Hugo. Carlos says, estás más pegado que pelo en jabón. You're funny, guy. You know what? I forgot to answer our good friend over here. What's his name? I'm sorry. Hold on. Gajanan, I'm going to answer your question. How to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. First and foremost, you're going to go ahead and follow a periodized program. I posted a free 21-day program below that will go ahead and get you started on that. Basically, what I do is that for like 2 or 3 weeks, I push hard. I do higher repetitions, very low rest in between sets. And then for, 2 or 3 weeks, I just go ahead and push back. Basically, pull back is what I mean. Basically, what I do is that I reduce the amount of repetitions and I increase the rest slightly so that it allows your body to recover and overcompensate and grow, okay? The routines, I always keep them fast-paced. I always keep them short, between 30 to 45 minutes, because after that, your cortisol levels begin to go up, your testosterone levels begin to go down, which has the opposite effect of what we're trying to accomplish, okay? In terms of the diet, what I do is that I start with a baseline diet. So a baseline diet is going to consist of your body weight times 1 in carbs, grams of carbs, okay? And it's the body weight in pounds, okay? Body weight in pounds. So if you count your body weight in kilograms, you got to multiply that first by 2.2. So, okay, if you're in kilograms, do 2.2 times your body weight. It's going to give you a number. Then you multiply that number by 1. That's your grams of carbs per day. You do the same thing, and that's also going to go ahead and give you the proteins per day, okay? So you do your body weight times 2.2 times 1 is protein in grams per day. And then your body weight in kilograms times 2.2, it's going to give you a number, times 0.3 equals grams of fats per day. That's your baseline diet. You follow a diet like that for a couple of weeks, and then you go ahead and do some progress assessment. How do you do that? Well, first and foremost, before you start the whole deal, you got to go ahead and take some pictures. You want to go ahead and collect some measurements. Use a tape measure. Let me see if I have mine handy. Use this, right? Collect some measurements using the tape measure. Measure your chest and back circumference, your biceps, your waistline, your thighs, your calves. It's going to go ahead and get you started, right? And then collect your weight. See how much you weigh. Then, a couple weeks later, do the same thing. See where you're at. Based on the results that you see, then you will see if you need to go up a little bit in the caloric intake or if you need to go down a bit. Most of the time, you got to go up, to be quite honest with you, okay? Basically, what you're going to see, if you see a situation where your body weight is staying stable, but you lost that little bit in your waistline, that means that you're gaining muscle and losing fat at the same time, okay? Like, for example, me lately, I've been at 190, between 190 to 191 all the time, but I'm losing inches on the waistline and I'm gaining more definition, so that's a good thing. That's exactly what I want. It doesn't mean because the weight is staying stable, it doesn't mean I'm not making gains. I am, because the pictures show it and the tape measurement shows it too. So that's the whole deal. That's how you figure these things out, okay? Anyways, basically that's how you go ahead and gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. You just make sure that you're following the right diet and the right training program. Like I said, the right training program, I went ahead and I put the link to download my free 21-day program, so check it out below. And, try it out and do what I just told you to with the diet. Make sure that all those grams of carbs, proteins, and fats, you split them over 5 or 6 meals. The easy way of doing things is like, have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then protein shakes in between. That way you can go ahead and get your nutrition, okay? Make sure you drink plenty of water as well. I forgot, water is super important. So you need body weight in pounds times 0.66 equals ounces of water per day, okay? So don't neglect your water because most of your body is made out of water anyway. So if you're not drinking your water, guess what? You're not going to lose as much fat and you're not going to gain anywhere near the amount of muscle that you can gain. So drink up, okay? Don't forget about that. Super important. Carlos says, te veo luego, Hugo. Check el video completo cuando lo bajes. Abrazo, mi hermano. Hey, cuídate, Carlos. Gracias por estar aquí, ¿ok? Te me cuidas, brother. Bye-bye. Omar says hi. Hello, Omar. How are you, man? So, anyways, that's pretty much, I think, everything that I have to cover today. If there are any other questions out there, go ahead and post them. And if not, then, I'll just be saying my goodbyes up until next Friday, where I'll go ahead and cover another topic. And then I'll go ahead and cover some new questions over here. I see some sad faces. Yeah, I could talk bodybuilding all day long. I promise you that, okay? But I put myself a time limit. So that's, otherwise, I'll stay here for a long, long time. But anyways, thank you so much for stopping by. Keep training hard. Just remember, you gotta train hard, but you got to train smart as well, okay? It's, just hard training is not gonna get you to where you want to go. You gotta know exactly what you're doing so you don't get injured, and so you work with the body, never against it, okay? When you work with the body, you make the gains. If you work against it, well, you're not gonna, you'll get injured for sure, or sick, or both. Anyways, with that said, until next time, take care and train hard. Bye-bye.